We're doing everything we can to fight the gang problem. Now that's the message tonight from the Chattanooga police chief, who says the gang activity is the worst he's ever seen.
On Monday, we look back on how the growing gang violence has been handled over the years and if our city's leaders could have done more. Tonight, Chief Bobby Dodd is responding to that story and explaining his department's role in it all. News Channel 9's Karen Zaklak has the latest. Karen.
Well, Kim and Calvin, Chief Dodd called us and says while he agrees with our story, he does want to point out how the police department has been working to get gang members off the streets for years.
Of course, we had police chiefs, we had mayors, other city officials who didn't want anyone to talk about gangs or gang problems.
Police Chief Bobby Dodd admits that even when he was hired onto the force in 1986, there were gangs in Chattanooga. He also admits that over the years, city leaders have had a hard time acknowledging and dealing with that realization. He says talk simply doesn't compare to action against the gang members themselves.
If you're not dealing with it every day, if you're not in the trenches with us every day on this thing, you know, the political rhetoric and stuff like that, it doesn't help.
Chief Dodd says it's exactly what his crime suppression unit has been trying to tackle since 2007. It was that summer that the task force was created and 10 officers assigned under the leadership of Sergeant Todd Royval. Today, Sergeant Royval says there are roughly 45 gangs in Chattanooga and nearly 1,200 members.
We know who's mad at who, we know who's just getting out of jail, we know who's maybe up for a retaliation shooting.
The chief cannot tell us whether gang arrests are increasing or decreasing because the CPD just started keeping track of that number this year. But the number of total arrests by the suppression unit has gone up each year since 2007. Chief Dodd says the larger problem is the revolving door.
You can arrest people day and night. If they don't do any time, we're chasing our tail.
Dodd says his officers' biggest problem in the fight against gangs are the laws that let them out.
I think where we've kind of dropped the ball is letting our officials in town and our officials in Nashville not go after the laws that we need to enact some stiff punishments.
Chief Dodd says that will keep the 12 or so major gang players behind bars and hopefully start to slow the violent trend. He says the new plan to unite all agencies under one coordinator will work along with the new elementary outreach, but he admits success will take time.
It took 25, 30 years to get to this point. It's not going to be solved overnight.
And Dodd says they are also getting more guns off the streets and making more contact with gang members themselves. He tells us last year officers talked with identified known gang members nearly 3,000 times. Now, Dodd mentioned that it's hard to keep the arrested gang members behind bars. Tomorrow, we'll take that concern to the district attorney's office. Kim.